Oh yeah, the GameLeapers, what's going on guys? This is Iggs. Patch 13.8, the list of changes got released today on Twitter. So what are they? Like, who are the champions actually getting changed and stuff? Well, we're gonna get into them in this video, so make sure you stick around for the whole thing. I might even give my opinion on whether these champions should be buffed or should be nerfed, and maybe what these buffs and nerfs might be. But if you actually want to improve, guys, this video, like, means nothing. Like, seriously, like, you might as well go and watch a cooking video or something, bro. This is not gonna do anything, mate. Like, you're still gonna be the same player in the next 10 minutes, right? If you do actually want to improve, sign up to the GameLeap website, link down below in the description and comment section. Sick of saying it every video. If our challenger players and coaches are actually uploading like actual fundamentals of the game, right? Like back timing, positioning, spacing, wave management, counting cooldowns, jungle tracking, all of these things, right? That's what we're talking about on our website. I rarely talk about them in these YouTube videos. I talk about builds and champions who are OP. That's about it. They're not going to help you at all. Like, you can go ahead and you can play something like a Malphite top, right, in the next like week until 13.8 comes out, and you might win a few more games. But what are you going to do after that when he gets nerfed? You're going to play another champion who's OP, and you just keep repeating this process? You're still going to be in platinum. You're still going to be in gold, bro. But yeah, let's get into the video anyway. Right, the champion's getting buffed in 13.8. There are a few of them. So we'll start by talking about the junglers. Now, there are 3 junglers here, potentially 4 getting buffed. So first of all, we have Kha'Zix. Now, I actually called this in one of the recent videos. I said something like, you know, Kha'Zix might get some compensation buffs because the nerfs to his W, because it pretty much is like the most pointless ability in the game now, even if you do evolve it. Like, I actually said he would get some compensation buffs because his win rate has actually gone down quite a bit and too much, and he's still struggling a lot. So well done me, I guess. But hopefully it's something to do with your W. Maybe like if you land it, it reduces the champion's armor, or something like this. Maybe that's what happens if you evolve it. But yeah, they should definitely do something to his W. It's just like the most pointless ability in the game. And yeah, the other 3 junglers, or potentially 3 junglers getting changed. Well, one of these is definitely going to be Nidalee. She's getting buffed. Now, Nidalee, I think Riot have to be a little bit careful here. They have buffed Nidalee quite a lot, like in recent times actually, and they haven't really done much to her, but I don't really know why she's getting buffed. Like, I still think she's strong, especially if you can play her well. So if you guys check the stats in high relos, she still does very well, right? She pretty much has no counters in the jungle. She's a very oppressive early game champion. She scales pretty well. So I don't really like understand why they're buffing her. Maybe it's just like a pure low elo buff, but they have to be pretty careful if it doesn't affect high elo. But yeah, Nidalee is a champion on here getting buffed. Also, an AP jungler getting buffed in 13.8 is Lilia. Now, Lilia at the moment, that actually makes more sense to me because she is worse off, right? Whether it's like the demonic embrace nerfs, Lilia being changed to what was it, like a melee champion, so she doesn't get something from demonic. I don't know, it's something like that. I can't remember exactly. But you guys know what I'm talking about, especially those of you who play Lilia. And at the moment, yeah, I think she's outperformed by a lot of AP junglers. Echo, Evelynn, Fiddlesticks, Nidalee even. So Lilia really isn't performing as well as she'd like to be, and her getting buffed in 13.8, I can definitely understand it. Again, we'll have to wait until tomorrow to see exactly what these changes are going to be. Now, the other jungler guys, well, you can play her as a top laner as well, and even as a support in certain team compositions. This is Poppy. So Poppy getting buffed? Yeah, kind of agree with it, I guess, because she's not really like the most popular champion. I think they could do like a lot with her kit as well that might make her a lot more interesting. And you're only really picking this champion to counter certain things, probably things with dashes, right? So if it's like a Jax top or something like this, you can just lock her in. If it's like Zac jungle, you pick Poppy, you press W and the game is GG, right? So there are certain champions and, you know, like interactions, I guess, with your own kit where you'd really like to pick Poppy, but generally speaking, she's not really like innately strong. So Poppy getting buffed, I'm all for it as well. Now, if we move into the top lane here, there's only really like one champion getting buffed, this being Garen. Now, Garen, I understand maybe in like a lower elos, might be performing at a higher click than he is in higher elos, so I do think they have to be a little bit careful in terms of buffing this guy. But Garen, I think like maybe the problem is that his kit is just like so, I don't even know what you'd call it, maybe linear? Because if you're playing Garen, you're just like running in a straight line, spinning around, and then running back out in a straight line. There's not really much like dynamism to his play, right? So if they can bring this into his kit, it might be interesting. But because it's just listed here as champion buffs, it's not like they're updating anything here. You know, they'll probably do something to one of his abilities, of course, or base stats, I don't know. But yeah, Garen is getting buffed in the top lane. Now, if we move into the mid lane, there is only one champion here, guys, getting buffed, this being Zoe. And I don't know why, because she's really strong right now. Yes, in terms of like the meta, she might not be picked in pro play that much because the meta isn't really about like just kind of putting someone to sleep and blowing them up. But in solo queue, she's so oppressive because solo queue still revolves around lane. But even pro players, like lots of people just don't actually understand that. But anyway, like Zoe in lane, it's very difficult to beat. Like she beats every control mage because of her range and her priority. Like if you're playing a mage, you have to run like DMAT against Zoe because you just get shoved in 24/7. It's really annoying. And also against like assassins, because you have your E, it's very difficult for people to actually like jump onto you. And even by level 6, because your ultimate isn't really like an ultimate compared to like a Z def mark, you should have a big enough lead to not worry about them too much. So Zoe getting buffed, I'm really scared about this for all you mid laners out there. So hopefully this won't be too big of a buff or buffs. Now moving to the bot lane here, we have two AD carries getting buffed. The first of these is Ezreal, and Ezreal getting buffed, I can kind of see why. Like, he really doesn't have the best win rates, but that's kind of Ezreal for you. And I guess at the moment in the meta, like, there are other AD carries who are just better. Ezreal as well gives a lot of free lanes to people because he's not really like the most oppressive early game champion. So if you're playing something like Kai'Sa or Aphelios, you can scale for free. So these buffs, I think it makes sense. The other attack damage carry getting buffed is Kog'Maw. And for Koggy, well, you haven't really received much love, especially because Lulu and Yuumi are worse off, right? Those attack speed givers. Kog'Maw therefore kind of drops off as well. You really want champions next to you who can peel you, and because it's like an engaged meta in the bot lane with Nautilus, Leona, all these champions running around, Thresh as well, right? So you're really not having the most fun in the bot lane at the moment. So hopefully the buffs will actually help you out during the laning phase so you can actually get to the mid to late game, just like these other strong AD carries. Now champion nerfs. Who's getting nerfed in 13.8? Well, there are 4 champions here, and I've already mentioned one of them. This being Malphite in the top lane. Ever since Riot actually buffed his W, where you can get like a Frostfire Gauntlet when you're taking Grasp into melee champions, you can actually max your W and just bash them to bits, or you can still take Comment with your Q if you're against a champion who you're not going to auto attack that much. The point is Malphite is just innately broken, and if you actually look at the stats websites, this guy is like ranked 1. This guy is classified as the most OP champion out of every single champ in the game, every single role. So Malphite getting nerfed, I don't think anyone can be mad about this. Now moving into the jungle, we have the champion who's classified as the second most broken in the game right now, this being J4. And for J4 to get nerfed exactly like Malphite, guys, I don't think any of us can really complain about this. Ever since Riot buffed his W, this champion has really just been back in the game and dominating the meta. He's got like over a 52% win rate in every single elo with Conqueror, the Death Dance buff as well from this patch, which he can make use of right in 13.7. I just think this champion is just way too versatile, way too easy as well to actually make work. So J4 getting nerfed is pretty much just like Malphite in the jungle right now. Now moving into the mid lane here, I kind of feel sorry for anyone who played Aurelion Sol before Riot changed him, because at the moment he's just so gimmicky. He's easier to play because you just like kind of glide around the map and you just kill people with the Ray of yours, right? And after a while, it just gets really oppressive and even obnoxious to play against. Like, it doesn't even matter if you dumpster this champion during the laning phase. He does scale very well, but that's kind of like the nuance of it. If you're playing against Aurelion Sol in higher elos, it should be very easy to actually kind of just like abuse him in the early game so he doesn't even get to the mid to late game. But that's providing that mid lane player knows how to play the mid lane properly and how to make use of their advantages. People in lower elo just don't understand how to do that. And again, you can actually learn how to do just that via our website link down below. But yeah, because they don't know how to do this, Aurelion Sol scales for pretty much free. So that's why he's a lot better in lower elos than he is in higher elos, and it does become very OP. I don't think he should actually be nerfed again, just like I mentioned, because the higher up you go, it becomes very different. So I think they should have waited for a patch for this. But anyway, Aurelion Sol, guys, is the 3rd champion getting nerfed. The 4th champion getting nerfed is just like the Malphite of the supports, I guess, this being Rakan. And I've mentioned in our recent videos how this champion, like if you're playing the support role, you have to have Rakan in your champion pool. He's so versatile. He works with the most broken AD carry, this being Xayah, or one of the most broken AD carries. You can engage, you can peel. The buffs to him this season with Shirelia's Battle Song or Radiant Virtue, the champion is just too good, man. So Rakan getting nerfed in 13.8, I think this makes perfect sense as well. So not bad from the balanced team, honestly. And the only other change here, guys, listed for 13.8. Again, in tomorrow's video, we will get into all the changes and what they actually are. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Yeah, so the only other change is to Cosmic Drive. So there's been a lot of talk about Cosmic Drive, right? Trying to make it like a battle mage item for champions who are actually fighting for an extended period of time. Again, we'll have to see exactly what the changes are because they could change by tomorrow. But if we're playing something like Vladimir, Silas, maybe even something like Rise, right, with the movement speed, again, we'll have to see exactly what the changes are. But those of you who are playing those mages who would appreciate the item, make sure you stay tuned. So those were the listed changes, guys, for 13.8. Thank you so much for watching the video. This has been Eggs, and until our next upload, peace.